Hello all, welcome to another quick learning. Today we're going to be going over how to do a scatter plot in Tableau. You use scatter plots when you're exploring a data set and you want to see if there's a relationship between different numeric values. So here I've connected to the sample superstore data source that's included with Tableau. I've got the measures and the dimensions here. So as I said, it's looking at the relationship between two different numeric measures. So I'm going to be looking at just the measures here. So first thing you would do is you would grab something that you want to look at. Let's say sales. I'll put that in the rows. I'll automatically do a bar chart for me. And then I'll say I want to look at the relationship from sales to quantity. So I'll put that in the column. And you'll get just one data point here, which isn't very useful. What you need is a data point for each point in your data set. So to do that, you need to find some measures that will give you a unique value. In this case, order ID is unique. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that into what's called the detail shelf here. And you can see now I've got points here for each different order ID. So now you can see the scatter plot. You can see there's a slight positive relationship, as you would expect, between sales and quantity. So as the quantity increases, the sales tend to increase, which makes sense because if you order 2, obviously the sales amount is going to be higher than if you just ordered 1. Now if we want a representation of what that relationship is exactly, we can go ahead and right click on the data and go ahead to trend line and show trend line. And you can see it creates a trend line and it gives us some statistics on that trend line. So you can see the equation here, sales equals 63 ... times quantity plus that intercept there, which is a -18. So that tells you that it is sloping upwards, so it's telling you that's a positive relationship. If the first number there was negative, that would tell you there's a negative relationship. So a positive relationship, you would see this in cases where when one number increases, the other number increases. So for example, if you're looking at ice cream sales, those would go up as the temperature increases because people are more likely to buy ice cream when the temperature is high, whereas something like the sale of soup would be negatively correlated as the sale of soup goes down as the temperature increases generally. You also see the R squared, which tells you how good of a fit between those two variables for a linear relationship. So that basically tells you the percentage of variation that's explained by the other variable. And the p-value tells you, is it statistically significant? So is there truly a relationship there? If the p-value is very low, that means there is a relationship between those two variables. If the p-value is high, then it's unclear if there's any relationship, and there's probably not if it's very high. Alright, so another thing you can do is you can segment it by another variable. So let's go ahead and put the segment into the color shelf, and so it'll color the different segments that we have. It'll also give us a different line for each of the different colors, different segments, and you can see they're pretty similar lines. A little bit different, but the R squared and the slope of the line is very similar. And then let's say we wanted to work on a third dimension. You can go, let's say, to profit, and all you have to do is double click profit, and it'll do the work for you, and it'll create all the different permutations of a 2x2 for each one of the variables that you chose. So you can see in this corner you've got quantity by quantity, which isn't very useful because, as you'd expect, it's just a line going up because the two values are equal. But for the other things like sales versus quantity, you can see the relationship that we just showed before. And then you can see profit, the relationship to quantity. And then you can see profit to sales, and so on. As you can see, so sales to profit and profit to sales are the same, they're just rotated slightly. So if you look at these two, it's got this kind of V shape, and then you can see the V shape is rotated slightly. But you can see the relationship between all three of the values that we selected. So you can see between quantity and sales, and between profit and quantity, and sales and profit. All right, that's pretty much all you need to know to do scatter plots in Tableau. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much.